We've just arrived at the next stop, which is the Security Centre 21, also known as S21. And originally it was a school, and then later, when the Khmer Rouge took control, it was used as an interrogation centre and a prison. And there's one of the buildings there. And the last 14 bodies to be found at this centre when the Khmer Rouge were toppled, they're buried here. They were cremated, the bodies they couldn't be identified, and they were created, and that's what these stones are now. There's 14 of them. Okay, so this is in the grounds of S21, and you can see on top of the fence there all the barbed wire. That was to keep prisoners inside and people from outside from coming in, because it was all secrecy. No one knew what was going on in here. Only the people, the prisoners and the people that worked there. And it looked so peaceful here, you just couldn't imagine what went on. And this is building A over there, and you can see on the ground floor, I don't know if you can make it out, but on the ground floor, Khmer Rouge soldiers boarded up the windows. You can see the upper levels where they had ventilation holes, but they boarded up the lower levels and put iron bars across them and glass shutters. So we're just going to take a look in there now. There is the Tuol Sleng Genocide Museum Archive. It's a stone, a memorial for the last 14 people that were killed. Okay, this is building A. Just go in and have a look. So when there was a bed, they were chained, the prisoners were chained to these beds. That's what they used as a toilet, that box there. And these tables would have probably been used where they were interrogated, where people were forced to sign false declarations. If they gave a statement that didn't fit the Khmer Rouge, what they wanted to hear, they'd just rip it up and make them basically say what they wanted them to say. Condemn themselves, in other words. See, and you can see the bars there, pulling where they boarded the ventilation holes up. So have a look in the next room. I think there are 10 rooms on each level. So have a look. Much the same as the last room. Pretty grim, really. You can see the bars on the windows and the glass shutters. With the ventilation holes again blocked up on the top. So I'll show you a photograph of one of the prisoners that was actually on the bed in this room. They've blocked the face off. But I'll show you now. So there's the bed. And just outside each room as well, they've got names, the names of the prisoners that were held in each room. I'll just show you that. So you can see there how the light's not shining well on it. And that's building B over there. And you can see the grounds from the first floor landing, second floor of the rooms. These are the first floor rooms. So these are the first floor. These are the first floor rooms. Let me get my teeth in straight. And they're much bigger than the rooms downstairs on the ground floor level. You can see the photo there, photograph. The prisoner that was, one of the prisoners that was kept there. And there were more than one, there were lots of people that were locked up in these rooms. And outside each room there's a little plaque with the names on. I've tried to take a video of that, but they're just not coming out well at all. But there were mainly males, aged between 23 and 27. And the rooms are pretty grim, to be honest, even now, but you can imagine what they were like when they were used as prisons. So these are, let me get it right, these are the first floor rooms. 4 beds in this one. There may have been 4 beds in the other ones as well, and they didn't survive, or they've took them out, put them somewhere else maybe. You have to try and imagine when they first found this, because it was really secretive. Like I said, there weren't that many people that knew about it. So when they did discover it, the Cambodian soldiers, hardened soldiers, it shocked those with the smell and the blood-stained walls and floors. Pol Pot tried to keep all this secret, and he was fearful and paranoid. I suppose he just didn't want, he knew what was going on, he just didn't want people to find out about it. So the entry date for most of the people, from the dates what I can see on these plaques here, it's between 1977 and 1978. Let's go up to the second floor. What you've got to remember is this was an interrogation centre. So people were just captured without doing anything wrong and brought here for questioning and interrogation. And then ultimately they ended up on labour camps or imprisoned, or, you know. So this is the second floor. I think it's a top floor now, maybe not, but just have a look. And these are artists' interpretations. So yes, as I was saying, the people that were brought here were brought here for interrogation, and then they were sent to hard labour camps and forced to do work that they didn't want to do. They were tortured and ultimately killed. So it wasn't just adults that were brought here and imprisoned and tortured, it was children as well. So the former government, the officials that were brought here, not just them but their families as well, and they ended up being tortured and killed, and that's what that room was just all about there. Okay, let's look in this next room here. Khmer Rouge also applied enforced conscription, whereas they forced children into the ranks of the army. Some worked in the back lines, delivering supplies and all that sort of stuff, and some were given short duration training to fight on the front lines with the Khmer Rouge against the Vietnam armies. So let's take a look in Building B. So what these are, they've taken photographs of the people that were. Oh, okay, thank you. Sorry. So they have here on this board right outside the Building A, it's a list of, well, they call it the discipline of the security, and these were the things that they would read out to the people when they brought them in for the interrogation. Now I'll just show you this. I'm not going to read them out, but I'll show it, yeah, and you can pause the video or read through them at your own pace. And I hope you can make that out. Well, basically, it's a list of they're telling them what they can and can't do, what they can say, what they can't say, and if they do say the wrong thing, they're going to get, look at that last one there. If you don't scrupulously follow all the above rules, you shall get many lashes or electric shocks. For every 10 infringements, 10 lashes or 5 shocks. So you can see the sort of conditions they were living under. Now, I've just gone into Building B over there, and I've been told not to film, no videos. Okay, that's fair enough, and I can see why, because in there, it's just full of photographs of the people that were brought here. Now, they probably did that, it's just for a record for them, the Khmer Rouge, who they've brought in here. And I've seen something like this before at Auschwitz in Poland and Birkenau. They had the same thing, photographs of the people. And most of them, they're young people, I'd say between 20 and 30, and a lot of them, they're smiling. They didn't know what they were being brought here for. They were told they were going to get a better life, they were going to give them new houses, and they believed it. A lot of them believed it. So that was the worst part of it for me, in those buildings down there, that Building B, where you can see all the photographs. It's looking at those, you realise, although you know it, but it hits home that they were real people, young people as well, and they just hadn't got a clue what was going to happen to them. If only they did. You can see how the city's developed around the S21 centre, and still developing now. What they've also done, they've started to catalogue all of the graffiti that was left on the buildings and the stairways and in the rooms and stuff like that. And there's 3 periods. The first was from when it was a school. The second one was from when it was the prison. And the third one from sort of fairly recent, is when it was the museum. And there's stuff like slogans, mathematical equations, pornographic images, and you can imagine all that sort of stuff. And there's over 11,000 graffiti, articles that are on a database. And this is the equipment that was used to photograph and record evidence of all the inmates that were admitted to Camp S21. Numbers have been allocated to each person, and I assume that in the archives the numbers would have had their actual names written by them so they could easily be identified. On the top floor of Building B, you will find the archives, and they are open to the public, but you have to make an appointment to see those, and everything is documented. List of all the prisoners, the biographies, all the staff, executions, it's all documented. Everything's documented. Okay, so and behind me here, this is the other section. That's Building C. We're just looking there shortly, and there is a memorial there. It says, "Never will we forget the crimes committed during the democratic Kampuchea regime." And you can see there are mass gravestones there all around the outside. So let's go and have a look in Building C. And this is different to the other ones. It's got this barbed wire all across the front. Now, the other buildings could have been like that at one time, and they've just taken it off. I'm not sure. But we'll have a look. So all these rooms in Building B on the lower level, they're all the same. And what they've done is they've divided the bigger rooms off into individual small cells. Like that one there. And there, so they've built the wall right across the window. And cut a hole through the wall to join them all up. Again, it tells you the names of the prisoners that were detained in the individual cells. It was just to separate people, wasn't it? Rather than having them all in one room, they were just crammed them in these. Well, it's about a 6x3. There you can see the barbed wire on the outer wall there. And they've done the same on this first floor as what they did with the ground floor rooms, except they're wood this time. They're not built out of small blocks. They've built the individual cells out of wood, and I'll just show you one or two of those now. So there you can see, same size, about 6 foot by 3 foot, something like that. And there's a door at each end. Let's go through and have a look. There won't be much light once we get inside, so. See in there, you can see the rest of them down there. Not very big, is it? There's a little bit more light in this one, you can see them better. So these ones had the luxury of an opening window. That one's a little bit bigger, this one. Probably about 8 foot square. So you had little holes there where they would have passed the food through, that sort of stuff. Very small. And this is the size of the room without those partitions in, dividing them up into the smaller cells. They're really crude how they were put together, especially the ones on the middle floor with those wooden boards. And it's strange, the tradespeople, like the carpenters, electricians and plumbers, were kept separate to the other prisoners, and they were treated differently. And that's the reason for that, is because they were needed to develop the future Cambodia as the Khmer Rouge saw it. So they had a need for them, and they were treated better. Okay, so this is building D. I'll just show you some of there's some paintings of how people were treated. And some of the torture devices. I mean, that there, this is a water tank. You can see there where they were chained down. And that's some idea there of what they used to do to them. So I've got some of the skulls there that were found in the local area. And the killing fields. You see some ribs there, bones. And that's a memorial to all the people that lost their lives, who were killed here. Okay, so that was a difficult video for me to make. Not very pleasant. So I hope you found it informative. I'm going to end the video there. We're just going to go and get something to eat now and drink. I'm a little bit dehydrated. I haven't had a drink for a couple of hours. And I'll see you on the next one.